I'm your host, CV Lee, and today I'm interviewing Ann Begg about her book, Archer's Grace. Welcome, Ann. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me. This is really an honor.
Tell us just a little bit about what your book's about.
I would be inclined to say I write adventure romance in a historical setting. And this being the first book in a series has also got a bit of an element of a coming of age for 17-year-old Eloise, who is the sole heir of Dahlquin. Ireland is a volatile island and it's poised for civil war. England is always threatening. Dahlquin and Scragmire are bitter enemies. They're locked in a feud that's older than memory with neighboring Ashbury, who is an equal and neutral ally with them both. Eloise is the sole heir. She's rebelling against her patriarchal society and pressures until a treasonous siege catapults her and a stranger from her ancestral home, launching them on a perilous journey and a spiritual quest across Ireland.
So do you see this as a YA or is this an adult series?
Oh, it's adult. I know the cover and the way it starts out looks like young adult, but it's too X-rated for kids. It's a lot of sex and violence in the Middle Ages. Those were hard times. And without being too grim, I try to also acknowledge these are what the times were like.
Wonderful. I like that. So how did you do the research? Because I think you're what, 12th century or 13th century?
Yeah, the book starts in AD 1224, so 13th century. Well, back when I started writing in the dark ages before internet, it had to be all out of books. So I had to collect quite an extensive library for my own research of historical and biographies and things like that, which I loved. It was fabulous fun. I still have a lot of those books. Now with the internet and everything's at my fingertips. The other downside of the internet is new stuff is out there all the time, and there's a lot of armchair historians, so it makes it a little more challenging sometimes. I mean, in some ways, I've written myself into a corner because this is what I've written. And even my books, I had a number of texts in my research with conflicting information. One expert is saying this about a certain time period, another says this, and I picked the ones that fit my story. Because I write fiction. I'm not writing a history book. This isn't a text. It's not a biography. It's fiction, straight up. I'm storytelling.
Fabulous. So you went with mounted archery as the main thing that, you know, her love that she likes to do. What intrigued you about mounted archery?
Well, one, it's all about horses. And two, I knew early on that Eloise was not Joan of Arc. She was not going to don armor and go into battle like that. That's just unrealistic. I guess I've done enough stuff myself for a little martial arts and limited. It's like she'd be limited. Mounted archery was perfect because you do that from a distance and you're on a fast horse, you're safe. So bingo, I just came up with that. There was enough historic record, especially from, say, Persia and Mongolia in that time frame, that was used in mounted archery. And at the time I was writing, it never occurred to me that there would be people throughout the world that were actually still practicing this martial art. So, mounted archery is alive and well all over the planet. And that would be an area where I would say social media and Facebook has been phenomenal in uniting all of us so that we can grow and learn and expand and share techniques. I love that. I have just made friends all over the world. Some I've met in person. So great for research and incentive. Yeah, I love it. I mean, there's nothing like riding by the seat of your pants.
So is she based off an actual historic figure or is she completely fictional?
Completely fictional. Pretty much everybody in my books are completely fictional.
Which is completely opposite of mine. Almost everybody in my book is actually a real person. So how many more books are going to be in your series?
I think I've got 5. I think that's where I'm at, and I have a few short stories I'm going to have in there to fill it because there are some gaps in the time frame between the full books, but I really don't have enough info to justify a whole novel.
Well, it sounds fabulous, and I would recommend that you go out and get Anne's book. It sounds like it's going to be a fabulous series, and we'll be looking forward to the next installment.
Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome.